Hi KBC kids, it's Miss Anna here. Can everybody say hi, Miss Anna? It's great to have you with us today. I'm so glad you could join me. I'm going to be sharing a story about David and Goliath, and it is found in the Bible, 1 Samuel chapter 17. The Israelites were up on a hill, and the Philistines were up on a hill over here. The Philistines had a secret weapon. Does anybody know what that was? That's right, it was Goliath. And there was something a little special about him. Can you tell me what that is? That's right, he was a giant. He was almost 9 feet tall. Most ceilings are between 8 to 9 feet tall, so if you look up at your ceiling, that is about how tall Goliath was, maybe even a little taller. Every day, Goliath would come out and he would stand at the top of the Philistines' hill and he would say to the Israelites, "Who will fight me?" And he wanted them to bring some man out to fight him. And he said that if he won, then the Israelites would be their slaves. And he said that he would feed their bodies to the birds of the air and the wild animals. Oh, he sounds like not a very nice guy. So the Israelites, every time that he would come out, they would be so terrified. They were scared. Can you show me your scared face? Oh, have you ever been scared? This is where David comes in. His brothers were at war with King Saul. So they were among the Israelites that were trying to fight the Philistines. And they were terrified. But David wasn't there fighting. He was at home helping to take care of the sheep. And his father, Jesse, sent him to where the battle was going on to give food to his brothers and to give some food to King Saul. And so while David went, he listened. Pretend like you're listening like David. And he heard Goliath defying God and the Israelites. He said, "This day I defy the armies of Israel. Give me a man and let us fight each other." He thought, why is nobody fighting this man? He is saying bad things about God and nobody is taking care of it. So he decided to go to King Saul and say that he was ready to go and fight. King Saul said, "You are not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him. You are only a young man, and he has been a warrior from his youth." And this is where David told Saul he had already killed a lion and a bear with his own bare hands when they tried to attack his sheep. He said, "The God that helped me to defeat them will also help me to defeat Goliath." And so then Saul said to David, "Go and the Lord be with you." But Saul still did not have the same faith as David. Saul said, "You can go, but you must wear my armor." So David put his armor on. So let's pretend like we're David. We're going to put the armor on, putting it on, putting the helmet on. Oh, it probably was up to here, so he couldn't even see. Put the special things over his legs. And then he had a sword and a shield. And the shield was probably about as big as he was. David said, "Oh, I can't move. I can't fight in these things." He took them all off. And there was a stream of water, and he went to go get some stones for his sling. And so he picked out 5 smooth stones. So we're going to pick 5 out. Ready? 1, 2, do it with me, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we've got our stones. We're going to put them in our pocket and save them for later. So David walked out to see Goliath, and he stood there with his slingshot in one hand, had a staff as well, and he had his rocks in his back. And so Goliath said, "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" And the Philistine cursed David and his gods. "Come here," he said, "and I'll give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals." Wow, he still does not seem like a very nice guy. David told him God would be with him and that God would allow him to kill Goliath and cut his head off and feed the Philistine army to the birds and the wild animals, just what Goliath had said, but that God would help David to do it, even though he was small. Do you know why he wanted to do that? He wanted everybody there to realize He said, all those gathered here will know that it is not by sword or spear that the Lord saves, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give all of you into our hands. So David wanted to glorify God through killing Goliath. As the Philistine moved closer to David to attack him, David reached into his pocket. He got out that smooth stone, put it into his sling. He got it ready. He starts getting it ready. Okay, let's do this. Let's pretend we're David. And he slings it, and it goes whoosh. And where does it land? Right between the eyes of Goliath. Goliath was laughing. Well, he's not laughing anymore. It hit him right between the eyes, and it killed him. And he fell over dead. And David did just as he had said. He went over and he ended up cutting off his head like he said God would allow him to do. David did not have fear. He was not afraid because God was with him. Just like Miss Catherine had talked about earlier, God is always with us and that we should not be afraid. We should be like David. We should have faith in God and not be afraid. Now, does that mean that it's easy to do that all the time? No, it still can be hard. If you're afraid of something, talk to God about it. He wants to hear from you. Tell him what you're afraid of. Sometimes it even helps to say it out loud instead of just inside our heads. But I challenge you, have faith in God and let him take care of your fear.